The great Marcus Garvey once said that Jamaicans are like scattered jewels all over the world. And Jamaicans are scattered jewels all over Britain, this, so to speak, mother country. Here we have one such jewel of Jamaica who's now visiting home, Carol Gordon. Carol, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you.
This afternoon we have a special edition of 10 Mil Alive, and we're going to explore some of the wonderful people that we have as our treasure, who are scattered across the world. And one such treasure here, I want to start from the beginning with her. But before I go there, tell me about your life. How would you describe your life?
Well, it's been a wonderful journey. A journey filled with ups and downs, but more ups than down.
Okay, wow. So you had a great ride.
Absolutely great.
Carol, tell me, which part of Jamaica you come from? Start from there.
I was born in Montego Bay, in a little place called Barracks.
Barracks Road or in Montego Bay?
Yes.
Okay.
And my father was a tailor.
Okay.
And he had not long come back from America, actually.
At that time?
At that time. And he married my mom soon after that and built a little, nice little family. And his business was growing. So we left Barracks Road. I was age 3. I remember it just like I'm sitting here, a lovely garden like this. And we left Barracks Street and went further into the town centre because that's where his customers were. And there he did his, in fact, he had a little business going. He had many sewing machines and he taught a lot of people how to sew.
So that's what
he specialized in men's suits. But he had seamstress doing
also did ladies' clothes and other stuff.
Yes. And he taught them how to do that, and he specialized. And for a long time, I thought my name was Taylor. because people would come up and say, Taylor, make me a suit.
Yes.
And I would go up and say, Taylor, make me a suit. So I thought I was Taylor.
Oh my goodness, I just imagine. So he was that quite a successful and renowned person in Montego Bay.
Yes.
So what did your mother do then?
She was also a seamstress.
She was a seamstress?
Yes.
Also, they complemented each other quite well.
Absolutely.
So, but you became a seamstress eventually, did you? Did you think, or you just started the idea?
I'm not a seamstress, but I'm a self-taught, picking up the trade from my father and my mother, and I do it for myself. I have a very creative side of me, and I apply it to my lifestyle.
Okay, good. So you went to school in Montego Bay as well. You went to Barracks Road School at the time.
Yes.
The Barracks Road School has been around for some time.
Yes, it has. It has. I don't recall a lot, but I do recall traveling through the town, going home for lunch. Must be 5 or 7, between 5 and 7, because at that time, my father responded to that Windrush call.
Okay. Yes.
And he decided to go because he was a tradesperson.
Yes.
And he thought.
So that was an opportunity at the time. So therefore, and Britain wanted people to come to London, to come to Britain to do things. And
so he left us with our mother. And then whilst he was there, he wanted his wife with him, I guess. So he encouraged her to join him. We were then taken to grandma in the country. And she died soon after that. And my mother said, well, this is it. It's time for them to come. So she worked very hard. There were 4 of us to take us across to England.
So you had 2 brothers and sisters. How many are you?
4 brothers.
4 brothers.
Yes. But there were 3 brothers left behind here and myself. The other bigger one I think he was in the army, so I don't know a lot about it. But my 3 brothers and myself, we went off to England. They called us off to England. And there we were Windrush children, because this was in the 50s. 56, my father was there. 58, my mother was there. And 61, early 61, February 61, we
You
got
went.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so you're Windrush children, so to
We're
speak.
Windrush children.
So what did that kind of a transportation like from one culture to the next? How did that happen for you? What was it like for you?
It was all about reuniting with your parents. Yes. We, as children, we used to sit on our veranda, and my brother and I, and we'd say, if mommy comes through the door now, what would you do? You know, my brother said, I'd hug her. I said, I'd take all her money and go and spend it. You know, but when we got there, we saw the cold for a start. We landed in Shannon Airport. I've never experienced cold like I did at Shannon Airport.
At Shannon when you arrived. Because you're not accustomed to cold in Jamaica anyway.
And even my mother sent us winter flannel clothes
stuff to wear.
It wasn't warm enough. And we ended up Shannon, and I just sat there because Air Jamaica at the time was affiliated with Lingus Air. I don't know if you can recall.
It was BOAC at the time.
No,
it was Lingus.
It was the Irish.
Okay.
Who were very affiliated with Air Jamaica. And so they always stopped off there. And then we took a connecting flight to England.
Okay.
And my mother and father, my mother came on a plane. My father came on the ship. He would not have us experiencing the ship.
The ship. So therefore you came on the plane.
We came on the plane. We traveled in style, honestly.
We traveled in style.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And then when we got there, of course, it was school for us, all of us. And my parents continued working. He worked 2 jobs, to tell the truth. He was still a tailor and working, he worked part-time.
Making things for people and all that.
Yes. And for one of the most ostentatious company in England, Burton's.
Which one?
Burton's.
Burton. They were the makers of
most ostentatious
suits and
absolutely
just like George Odin.
Yes, like Carnaby Street as it is today. But this was they were just becoming known. They're called Burton's.
Burton's, okay, fine.
And he was also having to make a lot of money to send for us. So he did 2 jobs, and he went whatever industrial job he could get, he took that. And of course, he was involved in a lot of the racism in England. No blacks, no dogs, no Irish, no all.
So you know, a newcomer to England was like also seeing that happening, and
we saw
how did that make you feel?
It didn't affect me that bad because my father was quite intuitive. In preparation for us to get there, he bought a house. He was able to send for us, got a mortgage, and bought a house.
I see.
A great big house that even all of us, my brothers shared a room. I had my own bedroom. And so we didn't experience that level of racism because...
You had your independence somewhat.
And they wouldn't let us a room. But my father experienced it very badly.
But what about school? Did you experience any of that at school?
I did. Because they had a mental picture of black children that I came from a family of 4 boys, and they were always saying I am boisterous because I came from a family of boys. Therefore, I was not teachable like, and they labeled me and
and this was at school now?
Yes. And ostracized me. These are the teachers. I went to all-girls school.
Oh, okay.
And they loved. Before I went to the all-girls school, I started at the juniors because we have to race.
And that was co-headed.
And that was, yes. That I'm just getting used to because I got there at the age of 11. By the time I completed the year, I had to move on.
No, to the high school now.
High school.
Okay, certainly.
And so at the high school now, we were there for 4 years, and I did experience some racism. But I didn't let it affect me because I didn't experience racism here, so I didn't know what racism
System
was
was.
all about.
So you were not dramatically affected by
No,
the basis
no,
of racism at
no.
the time.
But
But
when
it was strong enough.
it was, by the time I came to leave school, I could feel it because they didn't want me to progress. They wanted me to go to work in a factory. And my mother says, "Oh, no, you won't."
So this is just after high school now?
Yes. By this time, I'd got to be 16.
16, okay.
And I'm ready to leave school. And I said, "Mommy, they want the teacher says I must go and work at the shoe factory." She says, "Oh, no, no, no. You're going to do your nursing training."
Okay.
So she carried me off to no application, just carried me off to the hospital. My mother was a very strong personality, and I got some of her.
You get some of her personality, yes.
And she took me straight to the matron, told the matron what she expects of me. And the matron says, "Yes, of course." And I became a nursing cadet.
So she said no factory work for you.
No factory.
No, because so she was working factory at the time.
Yes.
But then she realized that that's not what she wanted for you.
What she wanted.
Okay, cool. So you went now. You're 16 now, out of school. You're whatever nurse cadet.
Yes, nurse.
What was that?
Oh, it was the most beautiful time of my life. You can imagine leaving school, going into a place where you get the freedom to. You're like a fetch and carry person. Cadet, go to X-ray and get the X-rays of such and such a person. Go and take such and such a ward. You know, and so you'd do all the running around, which I didn't mind because I'd meet up my friends on the way, and we'd stay there and we'd talk a bit, and time would lapse, and by the time I'd get back to the ward, "Cadet, where were you?" And, you know, I have to say, I got laywayed with my friend talking, and they'd shake their heads. You know, they're very lenient with us at 16 because we have no.
Nothing is to do.
Nothing else.
But that laid the groundwork now for you to understand what nursing is about.
It was £4, 1 and 6.
£4, 1 and 6.
Yeah.
At that time, that was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money for me because I could pay my bus fare and I could go clubbing.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff.
And
so you had purchasing power.
Yes, yes, because I had independence now.
Okay.
So
So that was a good start for you.
that was a good start. And I did very well with my studies, and I graduated.
So while a cadet, were you studying at the same hospital?
What they do,
how did that go?
What they do as a cadet, you do part-time at the college and part-time at the hospital.
Okay.
So you're doing like a vocational study where you're doing the theory at college. And you're doing anatomy and physiology and so forth, and expanding your qualifications. And whilst at the same time you're doing practical work, you go into the ward and you carry out practical work, do bed bath, do whatever is necessary there. Go around with the nurse as she's doing the medication and hand it out, and you're there, and they give you instruction. So you're very much part of the
general patient care.
Yes.
And of course, that was a great teaching ground for you.
Of course. That's laying the foundation for you as a nurse. Because when I became a nurse, I had to do the same. And I was able to draw on my experience of being a cadet.
How long did you do that for before you started to get your nursing?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
And then after that, what is that you became a nurse, registered nurse?
I started registered nurse training. Registered nurse. Now, I must clarify, at that time, the racism was strong, and the black nurses, well, they were pushed into what you call SCN nursing.
SCN nursing. Yeah.
They were the second.
But so like a second level nursing. So.
Yes. But I was a cadet, and I was
now trained
to do SRN, and my mother had a strong voice also, and they had to put me into the stream of SRN, state registered nurse training, not state enrolled nurse training.
I see what you mean. Because state registered is that higher level of nursing because of the exposure and where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
So
And so I did my general training basically, and experienced all the level of all the different types of medicine, broadening my medical background. You know, even plastic surgery, surgery, medicine, orthopedics.
So you were exposed to the whole 9 years.
All of it, all of it.
My conversation is with Carol Gordon. Carol Gordon is a Jamaican who have been in London for the better part of well over 50 years. She has made 1 or 2 trips back and forth to Jamaica. So we're just kind of going back in time just to, you know, reminisce a little bit about what was it like here, and then when she just went to London. Of course, that was just after Windrush. And so she has a Windrush baby, and we're just going through what it was like going through training, going to school, and becoming now a British citizen.
I did become a British citizen. I was a traveler. I loved to travel. At the time, Jamaica wasn't on the map as it is today. And I loved to travel to Europe. When I got to Europe, they're saying, where's this country? And making me feel insignificant.
Because you're using a Jamaican passport to travel at the time.
My Jamaican passport to travel at the time. And they said, if you want to travel here freely, you've got to have a British passport. And therefore, you have to become a citizen.
Okay.
And I came back and I didn't even tell my mother anything so I went straight to a lawyer and I told the lawyer my story. He says, well, I didn't even pay for it. Not like they do today. I told him my story and he said, then we'll put in for you to become a citizen. And he did that. And I had to be sworn in. I hereby declare
allegiance to the Queen,
yes.
Her Majesty the Queen, and all her heirs and successors.
And they don't do that today. And so I had a British passport, which then gave me
access to Europe.
To the world more easier, because when they see the British passport, they don't question where is Jamaica.
No, because you're now a British subject, so therefore you're seen as a British.
If Jamaica was more on
the map, so to speak, at the time,
I wouldn't need to change my passport, but I had to roll with the times, and so I did.
So, all right, so you have now registered nurse and you're working your own money.
Yes.
You were still living at home at the time, or you had moved out by now?
Moved on to home, to Bristol, where I met a student, because Bristol is a student capital.
Okay.
The Bristol Hospital, university, everything.
So most of the Caribbean young men and women want to go to Bristol at that time.
Yes, because Bristol is a renowned city.
That's the place to be.
That's the place to
I
be.
see.
And all the students gravitated there, and university and everything. So I met a young student.
Oh, you met a young man at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was from Jamaica.
Okay.
And he's on a student sponsorship. And so we became friends, and there it escalated from there. And he brought me back to Jamaica. We got married.
You got married, and he brought you back to Jamaica. So you married in London?
Yeah, in England.
In England, in Bristol, and then you come back to Jamaica.
Because he had to come back.
Okay.
Because he's on a
scholarship or something.
Yes, he's sponsored.
So how long did you come back home for?
I was here for a couple of years, 3 years.
About 3 years.
Yes. And I think he was a student, a young student when he left there, when he left Jamaica. He didn't experience the full life of
grown up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he sort of left me at home a little bit, which I resented.
Okay.
And so I said, this is not.
This is not for you, because you are now becoming a woman in your own right, and you want the other experiences of life and London and Europe. So you went back to London.
I had a little boy. And
you had a son?
I had a son, yeah.
Yes.
And I took him back to England with me. And my mother said, do you know you should specialize in nursing? You should become a midwife.
Okay.
And so whilst I was there, I then retrained and became a midwife.
Okay.
And of course, I had to put in some clinical
Mm-hmm.
hours into my work.
Mm.
I completely forgot about Jamaica.
Oh my Lord. So what happened with your relationship when you went back there? It just died?
Irretrievably broke down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I wasn't enjoying being here, because he didn't make me feel my time feel very welcome.
Because he was still trying to find himself.
He was trying to find himself. And so I went off to,
Yes.
I went,
So you went to begin to continue with your life.
yes.
Yes, in London.
And I didn't come back to Jamaica. Instead, I did my midwifery training, and they were calling for midwives, more so than a general nurse. They were calling for midwives in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And I thought, this is for me. And I packed my things, and off I went to.
So you trained, got further training, a midwife, and you decided, listen, I'm going after Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Because they were no calling. And the money was, of course, attractive.
Absolutely out of this world.
So what was it like landing in Saudi Arabia, Jamaican, from Montego Bay? No.
Montego Bay to England.
England.
From England to
a Windrush child. A Windrush child.
Yeah.
And then now heading out to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. It was a culture shock.
Mm.
I'm not used to the
wearing
the mask and
stuff
all and all the black wear and the cover up and things.
And you had to go through that if you're going to stay there and work.
At first, I resented it. I didn't want to conform. But in life, it's better to conform sometimes. You get on better in life rather than being too resistant. I adopted the Turkish way of Muslim, and it didn't fit into the Saudi way. I dressed like the Turkish, and it didn't feel right. So what I started doing was wearing the black thing, and I felt better. I was more accepted.
Well, was it the whole business of modesty based upon being a Muslim and the religion, or is just in terms of the whole dressing code and how it made you feel?
First, it was the dressing code. If you didn't cover up and be part of the Muslim, you couldn't even go shopping.
Oh, really?
I remember I was covered up. I remember I had my daughter with me over there at the time, and I was covered up, but it's like a cape, and it just flew open a little bit and showed my ankle. And they have like policemen, religious policemen. And
really?
And I was in the shopping mall, and the whole devil, he looked at my ankle and told me to get out because he couldn't contain himself.
Oh my
Get
goodness.
out. And I had to go because there's no point arguing with him. And it's him, it's just gaped slightly and showed my ankle, and I had to go out. This is how strict they were.
Carol went from finishing school, getting her first diploma as a nurse, registered nurse, then having gone to Bristol.
Yes.
And having found love in Bristol. Then she married, got into Jamaica,
went back,
had a son, then she went back to Bristol or to London. To London. And then again further training.
Yes.
Ended up and then went off to Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And to become or to carry the appearance of a Muslim.
Of a Muslim.
Yes.
And so I fell into place.
Yes.
I even dated a Saudi. I dated the people. By then I was divorced.
Okay.
And so I wanted to experience the life differently. So
so you found wasn't a gentleman?
Well, I wasn't interested too deeply.
Okay.
I just wanted to experience the culture.
Yes, there's the culture and to see what it's like.
And the culture really is not just experiencing it from a aspect of one-on-one. It's experiencing from a community because I was first taken into the desert. Into the desert, where the cadets where they make military ammunition. And we provided, as a group, medical group, provided obstetrics, primary care, and medicine care for all the officers and their families.
So you went there, although you did midwifery, you went there still as a nurse.
I'm still a nurse. I'm still a registered nurse.
So therefore, you were now working in the desert, among soldiers.
Yes.
The military group.
Yes. Providing primary care, obstetric, delivering their babies. So I was well used. I was the nurse as well as the midwife.
Midwife. Okay.
And they loved it. And
how were you? You were immersing in the culture at that time and getting to enjoy it and becoming comfortable.
Yes. And also remember, we had an American base. I am now considered in the Saudi military because they employed, they're the ones who employed us, the military.
Okay.
I was connected to the military hospital. And so we followed the rank of the military. So I went from the junior officer,
you were a private to a captain.
Yes, the equivalent of a captain.
Okay.
And so I was asked if I could go even further into the desert, who needed me, and I went to a place called Salbuk. So far.
Salbuk?
Yeah.
You went into deep dive into the desert now.
Into the desert. Again, still provided medical care, but deeply. Because
your rank had increased then to captain?
Yes. This is where they have to hide because their military training don't have them all in Riyadh, a front to show what's happening. Their family, they're military people, and they're kept in the background. So that when the Kuwaiti War came about, and which I was very much involved with because the British Aerospace had to set up a recruiting office to recruit more cadets. I had to help British Aerospace to...
And with the recruitment?
Yes, with the recruitment.
Because, of course, you're a senior officer.
Senior officer. So I'm now in a purpose-built hospital in the desert and providing the medical care because they have their family and they're very family orientated and their children are being born and everything else. And it's the general provision of medical care really that they wanted. And so it just...
So how long did you last for that? Well, you have now taken on, I saw the lifestyle and everything, but how long did that last you for?
I went on for a good nearly 20 years.
Dear Lord.
Yes. At one point...
And you had actually become a Muslim by then?
No. I'm not a Muslim and I would never become a Muslim.
Okay.
That wasn't my style.
But you say at one point you...
At one point, I'll just give you a little story of how the captains and the
colonels and generals, yes.
In came like a captain, more than a captain, really, colonel or
somebody like that, yeah.
And he brought his child, and it just came in from the desert because the desert for them is a sacred place to them because they spend the weekend in the desert, even though they're high ranking, they spend a lot of time in the desert, even though we're in the desert, but they go even deeper in the desert. And he just came back from the desert and his child was sick, was vomiting, and brought the child into the, to the hospital. And of course, in the hospital, we have a lot of different nurses from different countries, Philippines, Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, you name it, because they
recruited from all over.
And one of the nurse didn't respond quick enough with a receptacle. And I said, don't worry. For example, he's a Bedouin. Understand, he's a Bedouin. Bedouin meaning they are born in the desert and they're part of the desert. Oh, he took an offense to that.
A word.
And the next day I was called to the senior admin person, the senior colonel
Oh,
in
yeah.
in the army.
Commanding officer or something.
Yes. And he said, you're brought here because you called him a Bedouin. I said, I most certainly did. I gave the highest rank I could possibly give because the king is a Bedouin. He's a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's higher than the king.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's higher than a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him the most. He thought I...
And the Lord is his status.
Because Bedouins, you can look at a Bedouin as coming out of a desert
Mm-hmm.
and don't know much.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can look at them, the king is coming from a Bedouin family,
Mm-hmm.
or you can look at them as being very ostentatious.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
But
you gave it some elevation.
I gave it, and I said, the king is a Bedouin.
Oh my
Therefore, I admire the king, and he's a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to your post, you're doing all right.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Because, they were coming after your head anyway.
Yes.
So, of course, so you already gave it that kind of embellishment. They say, well, even if you never knew culturally what it was, the fact that you interpreted in that context.
And elevated the Muslim and the people who are considered at the bottom. When you talk about Bedouins, you can say they're not educated as such, and they don't know much, but they're from the desert and they are warriors. So
you gave it embellishment, which is necessary, and of course it got you through the door.
Absolutely. But that's why I lasted so long.
Okay, because of course they realized that you gave them status and you recognize them within certain contexts of and appreciate them for who they are. Interesting.
The time came when I was leaving. The fathers would come back with and the mothers would come back with their children.
Their children.
By now they're schooling.
They're grown.
Look at her. They're talking about their daughters. She's strong. She's resilient.
Yes.
She's taken after you. Therefore, you're responsible.
You're responsible for all that. Oh my goodness. So they'll give you no credit now.
They're giving me the credit now.
Yes.
They're giving me elevation.
Yes.
Saying I am of a strong personality and they're very proud and things. And I thought, the time, I'm now turning 50.
And it's time for you to bow from there to do something else.
Yes.
But did they understand that you were Jamaican in some respects at the time, or they just saw you as a British subject?
They saw me as a British. They didn't ask much about Jamaicans. At the time, I was one of the first Black Jamaicans there. There weren't many Jamaican nurses there at the time. So they didn't weren't aware so much of Jamaica. But the fact that you were a strong British woman that was there, that was good.
But you did say much about, so you had a daughter while you were there? How many children do you have?
I have my son and my daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
So your daughter was born while you were in Saudi Arabia or just before?
Just before.
Okay.
So I left and before I left England, this was putting the divorce thing together. I brought my children to Jamaica. I wanted them to
understand and know where they come
Jamaica, where they come from, and the father, because father hadn't played a big role in their life, because as a result of me going off.
Yes.
And not giving.
You were on a mission.
Yes. And not giving them their opportunity with their father. By then I had my 2 children, and I brought them back. To know their dad, but he wanted to keep my children. And I said no. He kept my son
for a while,
for good.
Okay,
he was stronger than me, but he kept my son. And my lawyer says, you better keep your daughter. And so my daughter was with me, and my son grew up here in Jamaica. And so when I went back to England, I left my daughter with my mother.
With your mother.
But in the meantime, I was creeping up the rank in Saudi Arabia. And the higher I became, the
more demand that was made of you.
And the more benefits I received.
Okay.
They were able to help me to educate my daughter. I could give her private education. I could have her with me when I wanted. And so school holiday times, I would take my daughter to Saudi Arabia. and not just Saudi Arabia, the Hong Kong and places like
Oh,
that,
okay.
and exposed her
Mm-hmm.
to the different parts of the East.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got a touch of the Arabian
Culture.
culture,
Yes.
and she ended up there herself.
In Saudi Arabia.
No, in the East.
In the East.
Yes, in the UAE.
Okay.
And she was in Dubai because we
She was in Dubai.
Yes, we as a result,
Because of that kind of a cross-cultural
yes,
exposure. Now
yes,
she
yes.
ended up there, and
Because as a result of her, she went to Qatar. I was with her in Qatar. We went to Egypt. I was there with her in Egypt. She went to Dubai.
she became a globetrotter herself
She
now.
became quite a good. She turned to me.
Take it from you.
She came to me. She says, "Mommy, am I spoilt?"
Mm.
I says, "You tell me."
Carol Gordon is from Montego Bay, but then she ended up in Saudi Arabia. We're trying to find how she did. Not just that, her daughter ended up in Dubai and in Qatar, to name a couple of places. So you've been having this interesting cross-cultural lifestyle.
Yes.
And Middle East, eh?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you look back at all that you have done and experienced and exposed at that time, when you were about to now leave, what was it like for you? Was it a difficulty to take yourself away, or it was now time for you to do something else?
It was, oh gosh, you touched the nail on the head. It was time to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I had been a nurse from 16.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been a midwife all these years. I worked in blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I was becoming a bit tired of the bloody situation.
Oh, okay, yes. Literally and figuratively. Yeah.
And so when I got back to England, I went back to university.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a diploma in social work. And a degree.
So but you're supposed to be now cooling down.
I'm supposed to be cooling down, but I can't cool down.
But with social work, you're not supposed to be, you don't cool down.
And so I became a registered social worker,
mm-hmm.
And got a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result of all my nursing training,
mm-hmm.
talk about reflective training,
mm-hmm.
I would give it to any young people today going into, you'd never know how, you've heard about transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I used in my life, transferable skills.
Yes.
I used my nursing training and nursing experience right into social work because I became a hospital social worker.
Okay, that's what you mean. Okay. Okay.
And I was able to challenge, I became at the time they have the NHS is having difficulty with people overstaying their stay in hospital and occupying beds and so forth. So
but people are now becoming socially destitute.
Yes, in England.
And that was because of Windrush or post-Windrush activities?
The NHS being overrun now. They couldn't cope, inundated. Older people are occupying the bed, and they wanted the older people, mainly, not just older people, but older people are renowned to stay a bit longer because of the home social situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a social worker, you have to assess the older person, assess where they're going, see if it's okay for them to be leaving hospital in a safe environment. So
you were really strategically positioned there because you could do a medical analysis and assessment in order to make a decision as a social worker to inform how you inform the state.
When the doctors had enough and says, get her home. And I've just said, I'm sorry, I don't agree with your opinion. And they says, who are you? I says, I'm the hospital social worker. And I says, I don't agree with her going home. We have to look at certain situations differently. So at times I wasn't very popular with the consultant.
Because to contradict the doctor.
The consultant, not the doctor. The consultant, they don't like to be contradicted. And so,
but you had a history, a background to inform the position.
If I could challenge the colonel in a military situation, why can't I challenge a consultant in a medical situation? And so I just grew stronger and stronger. Sorry, but it's just me. That's where my strength came.
How long you spent at that hospital? Because with that kind of a strong
I
personality
retired
and
from
background.
about 10 years. I retired from 50 to 60 I were before I retired. I retired at 60 because I thought the time has come for me to enjoy my life now and to so I went back, I retrained at the age of 50 to be retraining and going into a different career was a big step for me. But I did it.
What did you do?
As a social worker.
As a social worker. So having finished 10 years now as a social worker, you say, me done. Me go on my yard.
Yes. But then I thought of my father.
Okay.
And he was a creative person. And so I took on the creative side of me. I went.
So it was now time to look at you.
Me. But I didn't stop there. I went back to school again.
Oh my Lord.
When I retired. And I did beauty.
Because I noticed you was very fanciful. Yes.
I did beauty.
Yes.
And I was asked if I could take my expertise to Italy.
Excuse me?
To Italy. And I went off to Italy and worked, as they call it, as a beautician in a very renowned clinic.
Okay.
And, did a lot of...
Again, another medical environment, but something different.
Yes.
Yes.
This time, it's the person's well-being, one person's well-being. Before I was doing a community.
Yes.
And looking out...
You are now looking at an individual or individuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they just loved it. And then, I was able to promote my Jamaicanism. Because I started my dancing
and do your thing and all that sort of stuff.
Bob Marley and all that kind. And they say, you have rhythm, show us some of your rhythm. So in my time as a beautician and things, I would interact with them and show them because I'm very much at ease with them.
And more your Jamaicanness begin to show.
Jamaicanness came out. And so I was there as a beautician for a long time. I was on like a sponsorship only for a time. Like my husband was in England, on a sponsorship. So I did a stint there. Absolutely loved it. We were taught how to speak it. I've forgotten half of it now. But I taught myself Arabic. I taught myself how to write and read. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to communicate with the Bedouins. So I had to.
So you were giving yourself a full education in more ways than one.
I taught Arabic I learned Arabic whilst I was there. I read Arabic and I spoke Arabic. And I left that and I went
to become a social worker.
Yes. And I was in England. But when I got to Italy, they provided education for us to learn Italian. So
you speak English, Patois, Arabic, and then you went to speak Italian.
In a renowned place in Italy called Padua. They have
called what?
Padua.
Padua.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they have it's again a student culture place, and Padua is very much where what's his name?
Michelangelo.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where his
was born and
grown up and
spent most of his time doing his paintings and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I was very interested in its paintings.
Because it's art and that a creative part, begin to interact and resonate with that.
Italy has a wide collection of arts and things. And I visited a lot of the art museums
galleries and the facilities and so on.
And so when my time was finished and I came back to England, it was time for me to
really retire.
To do for myself. I was checking out all different ways to apply my creativity. I apply creativity to material, fabric. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, I can work with fabric. I want to learn to work with wood. Wood.
Okay.
And he had a bandsaw and a lot of things. And he showed me how to use these machines. And I said to him, again, transferable skills. I said, he's showing me how to make intricate patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing that as though I am doing embroidery on the machine.
Oh, okay.
I said, this is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm doing.
You transfer the principle of something else into a new form.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this is what students must be able to do throughout their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They start off as one thing, but you must have transferable skills throughout your life.
Yes, of course.
So that you draw on your experience throughout your life.
And the experience inform anything new that you and give you another and reinvent yourself in that way.
Yeah.
So you have learned and have managed and have taught yourself and reinvented yourself several times around.
I did painting, water painting. I ripped up all my clothes and I remade them.
And as if you just went to a store to purchase, but natural fact, you're just using the old clothes and reinvent them. Mm-hmm.
I'm very much a health person.
Conscious person.
Very health conscious. I rode a bike for the longest while.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I don't know if they had a program here called Call the Midwife. And it's showing the old-fashioned midwife in the 50s.
Where you called and they drum the bike and they ride.
The bike is a prominent thing. And I was doing community midwifery at the time. And I was training as a midwife. And my midwife said, I want you to do rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it was close to my home. And I thought I could get through that if I jump on my bike. And I went on my bike. And this old man said, bloody hell, we ain't seen one of you around here for ages. I had to take the bike home because it was a bit too...
Because that's a kind of a part of a British subcultural behavior in terms of how they transfer medication and treatment. And wonderful, interesting. So you have had so many lives.
It's so beautiful.
So what did you end up doing?
So I end up... I'm now retired. And
you sure?
And I would do a lot of age concern things and go to different events. And Age Concern got hold of me and sent my name up to Channel 4, like the Gleaner equivalent. And they called me and asked me if I would like to take part in a live reality TV.
A reality TV program.
Why not?
Get out of here.
And so I became a celebrity.
I'm telling you, but you are.
And what they do is they interviewed me like you're doing me right now. And they'd interview someone else and then marry up our personality and try to get you together. Single people.
Single persons.
And so they would organize you having dates and you go out for a meal and
all those things.
All those things. So the program's called First, and it is still being shown.
So did you end up with any gentleman who might decide who catch your fancy and you decide, let me
It started to, but it didn't finish up like that.
What happened? Because you're too much independent woman by now.
Very much so. Well, unfortunately, he was stuck in a bereavement situation.
Okay, and couldn't get out of it.
Couldn't get out of it. And
then you have moved on from that. No.
I'm not going to
that retrogression for you.
Position.
No.
In life.
No.
Either you finish with the dead.
Yes, you close that chapter and start a new one.
And he couldn't. So that would have impacted on any future.
And every time something goes wrong, then he refers to. And no, but it's you, it's not her.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to learn to move on in life. And some people, unfortunately, get stuck because the bereavement circle has different phases. And if you get stuck in there, you can
keep going around and forever and not
coming out.
Carol Gordon from Montego Bay, been to Saudi Arabia, been to Italy, spoke Arabic,
became a
Italian.
celebrity.
She became a TV celebrity, a midwife on wheels.
Yes,
among things. Now, what is it that you haven't done or you'd like to do?
What I'd like to do now, my daughter has just come to give herself to Jamaica.
Yes.
She's an
And her life seemed to have been just as checkered as yours.
She's an educationalist, and she's here to educate the students. She's with the UE, and she's involved in vocational and academic
pursuits of one sort or the other, right?
And I'd like to support her and enjoy Jamaica with what it has to give me, what I didn't get from it. So whatever Jamaica...
Because you left at age 11.
Yes. Whatever Jamaica can give me now, not just beach and sun, because I know that exists, but all the, embrace all the culture. And I'm able to pick a mango and eat a mango fresh from the tree.
All those nice things.
Looking at the ackee, and I know I can't pick those ackee because they're not open. But still,
the idea of just getting the fresh ackee from the tree, and being able to get a nicheberry and a ripe banana,
so that's
go to the country and get all of those experiences.
Yes, I want to explore Jamaica in a lot more depth.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you have such a tapestry. It's like this interesting quilt, of different aspects and facets of your life. Interesting. And it's something that a lot of persons, and there's so much lessons which comes with that.
Yes.
But
which I want to emphasize, no man stands alone. You can't just wake up and think, I've learned how to do that, and think you can just go on and leave that behind. Life doesn't exist like that. You take it with you. You don't even know that you're taking it with you, but you apply it somewhere along the road. And that's what the message I want to leave here.
And if you understand how to transfer the principle of those experiences and add it to something else in order to make it much better.
Being reflective is the key. Reflect daily on where you're coming from and reprioritize your life as you go along. Don't just say, I want to get from A to B and that's set in stone. It is not set in stone. It's very much on a wave. Up
it's
and
down and up.
Yes.
But you have had a good ride.
Yes.
And you seem to have enjoyed your ride.
Loved it.
Oh my God. And would you do it the same way again if you had the opportunity? Or what would you do different?
I wouldn't do it the same way because I've done it. I've done that, lived that. To me, that's regression.
Yes.
I like to progress. So
but if you had to live your life over again, the choices that you have made and the
enthusiastic with life, try in different ways to apply myself, still work with people. I love people, work with people, learn from people.
Because you have a great people personality anyway.
I love to learn from people and apply myself to my situation and bring people into. I love people. I love just.
Carol Gordon from Montego Bay, Barracks Road School. Father, a tailor. You become a tailor, a seamstress, a nurse, a midwife, a beautician, a social worker.
A celebrity.
And celebrity, among other things. Listen, the conversation are done. We draw a long bench another time. But thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you and learning so much from you.
Oh, right.
And the kind of a principle that you have shared in terms of how you have taken your life and used it to apply and reinvent yourself is something that I hope a lot of persons will be able to take from this.
I didn't tell you how much I enjoyed working at Kingston General Hospital.
Oh, you worked at Kingston General?
Yes.
Get out of here.
At a time when
when your husband, you with the husband and you were here.
Yeah.
Yes.
At a time when Manly was here and the gun culture was rife.
And they set up the gun court because
I did work with some gun wounds. That's another story for another time.
But how was that? Was that a frightening time for you though?
Oh. They weren't frightened at all because they weren't attacking me. They were grateful for me.
So when you work at the hospital?
At the hospital. With, by then they were victims of gun
violence of one sort or the other.
Yeah. But that was an informative time for me because I learned more about Jamaica at the time. And that was in Manly. I had money in my pocket, but I couldn't get food in the supermarket because there wasn't any.
There wasn't, yes.
the Cuba and everything and all that was involved. Manley was involved with Cuba, and the shelves were empty and money in my pocket. But we've moved on from there.
Yes. Carol, bless your heart. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Listen,
you.
we catch up. This is the
Yes.
conversation. Tune in to Tenny Miller Live again on YouTube, on Facebook, or anywhere you can find us. Bless your heart. See you next time.
Thank you.